Hello friends, this is Paul Chima from Remix Professional, Toronto, Canada. We are trying to do some informational videos on various markets across Canada. So this is the first in series. So today I'm proudly presenting to you Mr. Cam Bird from Remax, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Hey Cam, welcome online.
Welcome aboard. Thank you, Paul, for having me. Kind of a cool idea to share the markets across Canada. Great idea.
Thank you. So before I give mic to Cam, I will talk a bit about Cam. Cam, correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. So Cam is a Remax agent in Saskatoon. Before that, he worked in a company that did some railroad abandonment, and he moved into real estate. So he didn't own a house at that time. Crazy. So when you got into market, you didn't have a house of your
No,
own, and knew nothing about buying and selling. This is amazing. So that was in 1985 when Cam started business. Joined Remax in 1990, which is pretty early. Like I was very young guy at that
hey, hey, hey.
time. Since that time, Cam gained a lot of traction every year and did more sales year after year. And now he averages 70 to 80 transactions per year. That's wonderful. His team includes his son Jordan, good help, and his daughter Jill, and who is taking the admin responsibilities to keep Cam on the track. Um so Cam kept his number one top producer position as a residential realtor within Remax Saskatoon since 2010. A great accomplishment, and congratulations, Cam. And Cam is a common sight at all the conventions. If he's not there, the convention doesn't look like a convention. And today, so he's here with us today, and tell us about his market area. And I would tell you this thing. This is my first attempt doing this live video. So if there's um, any glitch, I ask for forgiveness. We'll try to improve it. If you have any questions, feel free to post, and we'll try to answer that as much as we can. Cam, would you like to add something to it?
No, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think you got it all there, Paul.
Oh, great. So tell us about your specialty and your service area, Cam.
Well, actually, when I moved here to Saskatoon in 1984, got married in 84, started selling real estate in 85. I knew nobody in this real estate in the city of Saskatoon. I'm originally from Manitoba.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I got moved here, uh, and the construction company I worked for was an awesome company, but it had a lot of moving around to do, so I was not really in a situation where I would be in one spot, namely in Saskatoon, very long. So it's tough to have a relationship with my wife. So anyhow, I got into real estate. Somebody asked me if I wanted to get into that, and I thought, I don't own, like you said, I didn't own a house. I do now, and I've owned a few of them now, thankfully. But it's basically I started out into residential, but the real reason I got into real estate was to actually find a business and to buy a business and make my living owning a business. But I quickly found out that these guys that are selling their businesses aren't making a lot of money. So I decided just to stick with selling. I tried commercial first, but that's a feast or famine kind of business. So I just stuck with residential real estate and plugging along. And finally, after 32 years, I think I've got it figured out. But it's mainly residential is what I do.
Yes, good. Thank you very much, Cam. So how do you define the housing activity in your area? Is it balanced, or sellers or buyers? Trust me, in Toronto it is sellers. They're making big bucks here.
Yeah, I envy you. 'Cause the vast majority of my business is listing. So we experienced a huge housing boom here, which was huge to us at the time in 2007 till about the spring of 2008 when the federal government changed the amortization schedule from 25 years to 40 years. But then, as you know, they retracted that and they went back to 35, then they went back to 30, and we're right back to where we began. But
Yes.
prices have subsided. To answer your question, we are very, very much a buyer's market here. We have a surplus of new homes, existing homes. I think we're in the neighborhood of single family dwellings. We're under 960 single families, which is equates to about a 4-month supply of single family homes through the absorption rate process. But condominiums, we have approximately an 11-month supply of condos for sale. So we have an abundance of inventory. So the buyers are very much in high demand here. So we have currently right now I'm sitting with about 25 listings. My son's got about 15 or so. But it's optimistic on the horizon because of what's happening in our right now. Like Saskatchewan, I guess I should back up. Saskatchewan's a very much a resource-based industry.
Yes.
When I got into the industry, farming was the big thing that I thought everybody, was a farmer, and if the crops were good, then people bought houses. But we had a change in government for the positive here, who brought a lot of businesses into Saskatchewan.
Okay.
And so that really opened up the door to a lot of development in the business resource sector. Potash has been very, very good breadwinner, but the potash prices are down around the world. People don't know what potash is. It's basically a fertilizer, and I think Saskatchewan is, if it isn't number one, it's number two in the world for production of potash. And places like China and India, they absolutely need potash, or they can't provide enough food for their people.
Okay.
The next source of revenue is oil, and as you know, oil prices are down. That's not so much in the oil around here in Saskatoon, more in the southeast corner. It's called the Balkan Play Field, oil field, and there's with new technologies, they're able to angle drill, and there's a lot of oil exploration, and it's amazing to see the oil pumps jacks down there pumping and producing. But we also have uranium. We're a very large supplier of uranium in the world, high grade uranium.
Okay.
What else we got? There's diamonds and up in the north part of the province. So lots of resources. There's even what we use in batteries for your cell phones.
Oh, okay.
That particular resource is I can't recall the term of it or what it's called, but I know we mine it up in the northern part of the province as well. So, but right now the elephant has moved from the resource sector in the stock market and has gone into the money markets and around the world. So we're waiting for the resource sector to return before things really start rocking and rolling here. So we're thankful for, at least I'm personally thankful, I should say, and I think that most people in Saskatchewan are, for the government that leads us.
Yes.
It's very, very, very beneficial. We just recently had a budget, and everybody's having some tough times, and he's had to do some cutbacks, and that's not going over so well. We raised our PST from 5% to 6%.
Okay.
And that's included new home construction, which was exempt before. So our real estate fees are PST applicable, and GST obviously as well too. But just recently with this new budget, the PST has come up on the new home construction, on the value of the house, not the value of the lot. So there's going to be that's going to slow down a little bit in construction, but those are just tough things that we've had to do. We don't have a government that continually spends and builds deficits. But having said that, the optimism in this province, we're like Saskatoon is 1.1 million people approximately.
Yeah.
Saskatoon is about 260,000 we have a draw of about 300,000 people.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of room to grow and expand, and we certainly have been doing that, and the current builders have just got caught with a little bit with that slowdown, because they were building anticipating for a 350,000 population, which some of the experts had predicted would be happening, and I truly think it will be happening. It's just got a bit of a hiccup going on here right now. So,
Oh,
but
good.
live and learn.
Very nice. So basically, you typically answer so many questions right up there.
All right.
Yeah, and I noticed there's something is hanging up in our video here, so I don't know if some people are watching this video and not able to see it, but I see some glitch happening here. Okay, no, we are back here. So yeah, alrighty. So this is really amazing that it's a buyer's market. I wish we had buyer's market in Toronto. People are dying to get a house. Like you can't even believe torn on houses, and people are paying money through their noses. It's way too painful for many of the buyers. I'm working with at the
Yeah.
moment as well. So
Well, from an outsider looking in, we shake our head. We wonder, like, how does the average person afford those properties?
it's really difficult. When finally it comes down to appraisal by the banks, guess what? The appraisal doesn't show up good. So people actually need to have cash in their pockets when they say, okay, they will go $150,000 or $200,000 over the asking price.
they have to. That's see, really, like they're not even appraising out to the purchase price, so they've got to come up with an extra $50,000 or $100,000 in cold hard cash.
Yes, they have to come up with their own cash.
Wow.
Say, for example, someone lists their house for $670,000 and it sells for $900,000. The bank appraises it as $650,000. So all the cash has to come because bank is going to finance only 80% or 95% of what it appraised for. So the money has to come from the cash. I don't know where the money is coming from. I wish I had that kind of money, man.
You might. That's maybe not a question you want to know the answer to, Paul.
Well,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
We'll talk about FinTrack another time.
Yes.
Uh,
So,
But that's amazing. When we went through that, Paul, in 2007, the appraisers just sort of threw their hands in the air and said, let the market decide. If you got 15 people bidding on a property, and we had houses that were, we didn't have 7,000. Well, we had $700,000 houses, but the average price range back then was say 300,000, and people were paying 375,000,
yeah,
and we never really had any problem because the appraisal said, well, the appraisal companies had basically said, well, you've got that many people pushing the demand, it's got to be worth that.
absolutely.
So right now, I still to this day question appraisals, but that's a whole other topic of discussion.
Absolutely. Maybe next time we go live.
Yeah, exactly.
We go with the planning and we will schedule this feed actually. Today it's not scheduled, so basically I'm going to push it later on. But anyways, this is going to be great information for everyone who will be watching this video later or who is watching this video at the moment. So we are interviewing Cam Bird from Saskatoon. He is the #1 top producer with Remax since 1990. Is that right? 1990. He has been there. And I won't tell again that I was a young guy at that time. So
2010 took that spot, so yes.
So Cam,
Residential.
what is the average home price and what is the most selling configuration of the house there?
Our average sale price is in the neighborhood of 350,000.
I would love that.
What's that? That's kind of fun. You probably burst out laughing on that one. But yeah, that's 350. And when I say it's a buyer's market, and it has been a buyer's market, but I had some people in from Vancouver Island that moved here, beautiful Campbell River, BC.
Yeah.
And they moved here to for employment, but which his wife was still shaking her head at. But anyhow, because of the temperature gets here a little chilly as compared to Campbell River, but the house was listed at $649,900, and we ended up into a bidding war on it, and we virtually had to pay full price for it, unfortunately.
Wow.
And while I was one of my backup houses that I was going to, I thought that they were going to proceed with, that realtor contacted me and asked me if I was going to be writing an offer on it because he'd already received one. And I was like, what we thought was a really quiet and dormant price range.
Yes.
That particular week, ever since St. Patrick's Day, actually, it started to rock and roll here a little bit more. So, and I think the weather, our snow's all gone, and the weather's warming up, and that brings out the buyers a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so properties have been sitting a while. So that seems to be what have happened. So.
That will be great, right? This will be great, like if you have that kind of market. But you know what? This could be very good for many people who are relocating to Canada from different countries, and they're looking for a place. And this is very, I guess, affordable price. But more than affordable price, people are also going to look at so many other things. Where employment is one such thing they will be looking at. So Cam, how is the employment in your neighborhood? Just tell us about the nature of jobs and their availability on these.
Well, the employment, we actually have a lot of people that were employed, even though that we don't have oil production right here in Saskatoon, or our closest production of oil is 2 hours or 2.5 hours to the west, which is Kindersley. But Fort McMurray, Alberta, those people, they'll work a month or 3 weeks in, and then they get a week off. So they'll have their families living here in Saskatchewan, and then it's usually the man will fly out, but there's a lot of ladies working out there as well. So they commute back and forth. So obviously that's had a bit of an impact for us here regarding the oil industry, but it's also the service industry that provides work to the oil production, such as milling, manufacturers like production of whatever's needed for the production in the oil sands has been slowed down. So, and you run into people that are difficult in finding positions in the building trades because there's a surplus of homes for sale. So people are having to be a little bit more not as selective for their jobs. So our unemployment rate has jumped a little bit, but not overwhelming. So Saskatoon's a kind of a similar to Calgary.
Okay.
It's not a government town. It's more of a free enterprise community, whereas Regina is the government town in Regina, and whereas in Edmonton, that's where the provincial governments are located, is in Regina here for Saskatchewan, and in Edmonton for Alberta. So Calgary is the more of a free enterprise business community than what now the people listening from Edmonton might be throwing stuff at their computer right now or cussing, but that's how we see it. We have a lot of transfers of people back and forth between Calgary and Saskatoon. So.
Okay, so you said that oil operations are 2 hours west of Saskatoon.
I'm sorry?
You said that oil operations are 2 hours west of Saskatoon, right?
Yes.
So it's not a far commute, right? And why would people have to fly out? It's easy commute, right?
Oh, you can drive from here to Kindersley, but the big oil, like what is the financial breadbasket of Canada, is in Fort McMurray, and
okay.
That's unfortunately the Alberta. We have our highway built from Saskatchewan to I don't know which river it is that it has to cross, but our highway is good to go there. But the Alberta government, from years back, they decided better to not build a bridge. It was the bridge was on their side, and they were responsible to build it. But as to my knowledge, that bridge hasn't been built.
Okay.
And the rumor is that they don't want to lose a whole bunch of people from Alberta to live in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
So they're making it difficult. So you have to either fly into Fort McMurray or drive, out of Edmonton. So it's not an easy place to get to, and it's certainly people drive there from here, but it's a long. I've never been there, but one day I'll like to go. But it's a very, very long drive.
Very nice. So you just told me about that this is a free enterprise. People are more business minded. So what kind of businesses do you have in Saskatoon?
Well, we have the technology side. We have a place on campus. Saskatoon's a pretty high-tech place as far as development of softwares and things like that. We have manufacturing in Saskatoon for various industries. We have some of the head offices for the Potash Corp is here. We've Cameco uranium head offices here. So there's various head office style businesses.
Yes.
And there's but we don't have like CN or CP, even though we have both railway tracks running through there. But or here we don't have their head offices here. I believe they're in Calgary.
Cool.
But there's employment from various sectors. Our University of Saskatchewan. One thing that Saskatoon has that no other city in Canada has, and it's a shame that I haven't been there, but it's called a synchrotron. And Canada was the only country out of the G8 source of countries that didn't have one.
Okay.
And people might think, what is a synchrotron? But as I understand it, it's a beam of light that races around at a very, very high speed.
Okay.
And they do a lot of research and development with it. It's a huge facility on the University of Saskatchewan lands. By the way, we have a very, very large university here, with various sources of, like the Vet College as an example. We're the Vet College of Western Canada that a lot of people come from. So, but back to the synchrotron, it's for research and development. Apparently, you can put a rat in front of this thing, and the beam of light will go through it, and you'll be able to look at the organs.
Uh-huh.
But various companies will come from around North America.
Okay.
And send their research people here. So there's all kinds of different things, in the retail side of things. So, but we don't have an IKEA. Sorry to say.
Yeah, that's okay. IKEA is not everything everywhere. So basically, I guess you have Tim Hortons there. I just saw that.
Yeah, Tim Hortons.
I just saw that. And you know what?
One thing we don't have is in this province. It's weird. Is we don't have an Apple store. At least we have. When I went looking for it, we do not have an Apple. Whereas they have them like Tim Hortons down there in Toronto.
Okay, that's cool. That's very cool.
No, it's not that cool.
Well, you know what? Stay away from these things. Going to Apple store sometimes wastes 2 hours of your precious time. So you sit there, you see techie guys and all nerds. They only know bits and bytes, nothing else. No human touch. Sometimes I feel like they are robots. They're working in the Apple store. So basically, I gather that for someone who is techie or who is into these IT fields, he may have a good scope moving down to Saskatoon and starting up his own company, maybe developing software or creating some innovative ideas for the public at large. But yeah, you do have good market scenario there, like manufacturing, potash, corporation, chemical. So we do have good jobs. So what's the reason that jobs fell through? Is this the current economy that is bothering people, or?
Yeah, when you have a corporation, say Potash Corp, if the world supply of potash is oversupplied, they have to limit or shut down their production because they're run like a business. They're not going to give it away for anything, for nothing. But uranium is, for the nuclear reactors to provide electricity.
Okay.
And although we do not have a nuclear reactor in this province, Ontario certainly does. But I just heard the other day that down in the States that they're perhaps looking at, more nuclear stations to provide for energy. This is for energy. It's not for blowing things up. They don't sell it to countries that are going to try to attempt to build bombs, and like Russia or something like that. So
yes.
But so the uranium is it's a pretty valuable resource. Potash is a valuable resource, but they don't just keep pumping it out for the sake of pumping it out. Like if the world supply is oversupplied, they will shut down production, and as a result, sometimes employees get given their layoff notices, and you have to do what you
Absolutely.
The dues.
Yeah, I think we are losing some signal. Seems like we're losing some
Uh-oh.
signal here. Can you hear me clearly, Cam?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes. Now we are back on track. Yes. So, so you are working more in residential, or you also take care of the commercial sales or purchases as well?
No, I'm mainly just single family. I have properties with suites in the basement, revenue properties that regard. I've got an apartment block coming up here
Okay.
out of town, but I'm just mainly single family is my bread and butter. So
Very nice. So, what was your phone again? Anywhere someone can contact you? I just wrote it somewhere, but I think
my phone, no
I
problem.
missed.
My phone number is 306 and that's 306-221-0654, and my email is cambird, spelled CAMBIRD, at sellingsaskatoon.com.
That is your own website.
You bet. Yeah, the website is sellingsaskatoon.com, and that website, if anybody's interested to sign up and have a look at it,
Yes.
we have every listing on the entire MLS system on it here in Saskatoon and surrounding area. I service outside of Saskatoon into a couple of communities surrounding Saskatoon. I go travel out about 20-30 minutes maybe max out of the city.
Okay.
So there's cities like Warman and Martinsville, which are communities just north of the city, and but we have a lot of room to grow and expand. It's so flat here, Paul. You can
Yes.
see your dog. You can see your dog run away for 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And okay. So, what would you like to tell to newcomers to Canada? Why should they be choosing your neighborhood or Saskatoon as their place of livelihood?
Well, our community, our lifestyle is a pretty common. We have friendly people, but the economy is in a bit of a lull right now. But we won't be for long. It's not in the Saskatchewan bloodline to sit back and let things happen and not be able to do anything about it. So
Yeah.
what we're experiencing right now is a bit of a lull, but I see politically.
Yes.
We're under absolutely amazing leadership here. We have the number one premier in the country,
Wow.
acknowledged by most people. He's the most loved guy, and he's had to make some tough decisions, but I can assure you these are just minor setbacks.
Yes.
And so if we have somebody that's concerned about running a debt, I would rather have nobody else running this province. And to me, it only gives the opportunity for growth. When businesses see that around the world, they will come to Saskatchewan to invest in Saskatchewan. Obviously, they're going to be providing more jobs, and the house prices are a whole lot more affordable than 800 or whatever your average.
Yeah, I know it's really crazy, and
Yeah.
it's really crazy out there. Trust me on this. We are really so much like. I don't want to say that again because I think if you keep saying thing again and again, universe acts like that. So let's talk good thing here.
Yeah. We're I think your government's going to be getting involved, and from what I'm reading, they're trying to put a tax on foreign ownership, which the government should just keep their nose out of the real estate business, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, ours is a free enterprise government. Is how we're not at all like we're a very right wing kind of people. So if you want to come and sit on your butt and not get paid or not do anything and get paid, you're coming to the wrong province. Sorry to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with that. Government should stay out of it, and they shouldn't get into any free market. Actually, the more they try to slow it down, the more it bounces back, and you know what? The more it becomes seller's market. Then people are there who are trying to buy houses regardless. I was checking Tony Joes from BC, if you know him, and
Yeah.
he posted something. The things are back to normal in BC. People are investing more money in commercial now, but they don't. Kind of it's built into your your setup. So when you're buying a residential property with that 15 or 30% foreign tax, people are already building that. They're factoring in it. So accordingly, what happens is who pays ultimately? If it is investor property, the tenants are paying those taxes.
Yes.
So someone is going to pay eventually. Investor doesn't care; he will still put the money down. And Tony Joe was posting that things are back to normal. Nobody cares. Anything you want to add to this interview that I may have missed, Cam?
Well, no, I thank you very much for the opportunity to come on line here and share our marketplace. A great idea, great things for your customers and your followers on Facebook, Periscope, wherever you have all these posted, Paul. And thank you very much for the opportunity to share what's available and what's going on here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Well, your phone number and your email is scrolling down on this screen here, so people can see that. And this number is your office phone number, and you're very easily approachable by everyone. So guys, you just heard this great fellow Cam Bird from Saskatoon. So we struggled a lot to get this video rolling today, actually.
You better watch it.
You better watch it, and we need your comments. If you have any questions or any concerns, well, please send them here. You can ask Cam directly by contacting him on the information provided. But say, hey, yeah, definitely say that you saw this video and this is how you are reaching him. And you may have actually tons of questions in your mind, and we're eager to hear those questions, and we will try to find the answers for that. So next we'll be introducing another amazing host in a few days. So stay with me, and I'm going to show you the whole Canadian market as far as housing is concerned. Thank you very much, Cam. Take care. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Ed Paul.
We did it. Yeah.
Good job, man. Hopefully I didn't babble on too far there, too long.
That's okay. It's supposed to be long, Cam. People want to understand the market of different provinces. I think many people are actually exploring other places, looking at the Toronto prices. I was in a party a few days back, and someone told me that the way the housing price in Greater Toronto area are, they are expecting there will be at least 5 or 6 more new cities coming up soon, or getting populated. So people are spanning out. If someone can come from Germany to Canada or India to Canada, it doesn't make difference if someone moves from Toronto all the way to Saskatoon or BC or whatever. It's the same thing, and people get assimilated in jobs. They find their niches and they get into their lifestyle. It's easy. If there are less jobs, well, there is a low living cost as well. So living cost goes with the area people are moving to. So there are so many things to consider. So I will go there even if the employment rate is higher, but if my living cost is low and I can breathe easy, I can come back home at 5 o'clock and sleep, relax, go with my family. And you know what? I will love that kind of lifestyle. Someday I'm going to check you out there in Saskatoon.
Cool.
Thank you very much. My gratitude for being a support, Cam. Thank you very much.
Hey, Paul, take care. Thanks very much. And we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye.